It would help if I unmuted myself. What up? What up? What up? Let me see if that works. All right, I think that's gonna come through here in a second. Yeah, sounds like we're trickling all through here. Give it a second to get going. What up? What up? I do need to pop back off for one quick second. Ooh, I got on back on. But I do need to pop off actually for one quick second, and then we will get into the thick and thin of it, guys. As a lot of you know, I was at Raw last night in Orlando, so it's a pretty fun show. Well, obviously, talk about that and talk about World's End. I did get a chance to watch World's End this past weekend. One of the bright sides about being sick is when you are in bed, when you are at least awake for that portion of the bedreddenness, you get to watch some shit. It's an excuse to just lay there and watch wrestling. So that's what I did. So that was pretty cool. So we'll obviously be getting into that. But like I said, just need to pop away for one quick second, and then I will BRB. That we should be back. All right, what the fuck is up, guys? What up? What up? Give it a second to trickle back on and connect back. I almost had to leave the studio and then jump back in. I don't know why. I was trying to connect back. It was very odd. But yeah, guys, we have not a lot to get into. Just a couple, a couple shows. We have the year winding down, which is crazy. A lot of people are doing their like year-end lists and shit like that. And I don't know, like I love me a good list because I love me a good checklist and shit like that. But I've never been like I don't know, like a top 10 or top 5 or like even a favorite anything really. Like that's why it's really hard when people ask like, "Oh, like what's your favorite match or your favorite this?" Like even like a favorite color, like I don't know, like I have what I normally wear, black. But I don't know. It's just very I don't know. Favorites are just like a weird thing to me. But on the flip side of that, I love watching like there's like a couple videos that I've seen like people put out for like their top 10 matches of 2025 and top 10 like wrestlers of the year or whatever. Um I don't know if I'm going to do all that, but I might dabble into something similar to it. So we shall see. We shall see. Obviously, today's the 30th, so gotta think of something here soon then, right? But what up, Jesse? I saw you in there earlier. What up, Fernando? What up? You said World's End was excellent. Oh, then you are going to hate me, my friend. You are going to hate me. I'm not gonna say it was terrible or anything because that would not be accurate. I just did not think it was excellent. So we'll obviously be chatting about that here momentarily. Let me get it pulled up. I want to use that. God, like some websites, it's just the whole page is just a fucking ad. It's like, damn, I know you gotta make your money, boo boo, but shit. Like, can I read what you wrote? Let's try this site, my trusty go to. All right. Okay, cool. So I'm getting it pulled up here. But let me know, Fernando, what was your favorite match then? And let me know. I guess I can. That'd be a good little. Let me pull up YouTube real quick. That'd be a fun little poll question. I'm used to you not being happy with AEW, man, and I know, man, and I'm trying, dude. Like I don't know, because again, I've been down since day one. Literally, their day one show. I was there, and it's I'm not you know me, man. And I know you're not saying I am, but like I'm not coming from like a hater aspect or anything. It's just crazy to me how night and day the pay-per-views and the weekly television is too. And I'm just like, damn, like what? Where is the disconnect? So I guess we'll just start with AEW. Where is the disconnect? And maybe Fernando, you may have a better finger on the pulse than I do. Or in Josh, Jesse, if you're in the chat still, man, throw it in the chat. And anyone else, have a few of you guys watching over on Twitter and Twitch. Appreciate all you guys, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Sai, if you pop in here, either on the replay or in while we're live, I appreciate you for making the new display, my friend. I just saw it literally as the countdown was going. So I will get that saved and thrown up for the next stream. So I appreciate you, man. But yeah, I don't know. And I thought about it's like shit, maybe it's just me. Maybe I am let me make earbuds or my headphones real quick. Maybe I'm just getting not overwhelmed, but maybe I'm just getting overloaded with wrestling. Maybe or just everything in general. Maybe I just need to disconnect, come in, maybe take like a month off and then come in fresh. But then it's like, damn, like you fear of missing out on a lot. And I just can't. Like I've thought about that in the past. I just can't. I can't go away. No matter how shitty WWE was in the trenches back in the day, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when WWE was just dreadful. I was just trucking along, I was still there wearing my little wrestling tees and all that stuff. So I'll always be around, right? But it's like, man, like I try to be open minded, so that's why I try to be like, yo, is it me? And maybe it is still me. But and again, I'll obviously get into my highs and my lows, but overall, it just it was like a an odd feeling pay-per-view, like almost one that felt like besides the main event, it didn't really need to happen. And I think honestly, now that I'm kind of digging between the weeds, and this may be whatever, but I think one outcome, honestly, well, maybe subsequently two outcomes then, really kind of changed my overall vibe of the show. So we'll get into that in a second here. What up, Billy? You said you're getting a new iPhone tomorrow. Right on, dude. Which one? I need to move my cup holder real quick. Or my coaster. I'm gonna throw up a poll here in the chat for World's End on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. What your overall thought was on World's End. So give me a moment here. Talks amongst yourselves. Okay, Smith, I was literally just talking about like my favorites and stuff like that. I don't know, dude. I am in the process of trying to come up with something not maybe just like I guess like my favorites of like my little like not awards or anything like, but my favorites of the year. So within the next couple days, like within this week, maybe we'll kind of dive into some of my favorite matches, segments, or promos, or just wrestlers of the year. So maybe we'll have a fun stream and dive into that. But I need to pull this up here really quick. All right, I'm working on the poll here in the YouTube verse. So you can only do 4 options. For the answers. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, so I threw the poll up in the YouTube chat, so sorry about that. I can't multitask, but I threw it up there. Pretty simple. What is your thoughts on on World's End overall? Again, you can only do 4 options: A, B, or so I did A, B, C slash D, which I know kind of sucks, and then F because I forget who it was, but someone last time I did a poll was like no F option, so there it is. And don't be one of those trolls who just goes in there and throws an F for everything or an A for everything. Either vote because you watched it or just don't vote. Because we try to. I mean, not that I'm gonna ban you or any shit like that, or what it is, what it is. Do what you want to do, but it's just to try to really gauge the community here, and see where everyone's thoughts are. Because again, Fernando thought it was excellent. If I was voting in the poll, which I'm not going to because I feel like that's biased, I'd probably be in the. And maybe I should have done like B, C. Maybe I should have done A and then B, C, and then whatever. Not that serious. But I honestly, and that's why C and D is kind of harsh. But I would probably do C, D, to be honest with you, and I will explain here why. Move that over. So and I really want to know. I think it's a Maria in there too. I want to say, hey, what up, Maria? What up, girl? If you watched Maria, I'm curious what your thoughts are too. If you watched Worlds In and your overall thoughts on the show, all you guys too, obviously. But I'm just I'm over the Death Riders, guys. I'm over the Death Riders, and while I found myself feeling very conflicted, I was more frustrated than happy. I guess, is kind of like a long story short of it. So going into it, and you guys know I'm fucking wrong all the time. So it has no issues with me being wrong or anything like that, or like getting a wrong pick or anything like that. You know what I mean? If anything, I was pissed that I didn't get a chance, and because I was, man, this, I don't know, this weird sickness shit that I have is like just whatever. But it had me out. But I was so pissed I wasn't able to do a prediction show because I literally, like in my brain, saw, not that I'd say anything like, oh, worship you, right? But I saw Okada like with the screwdriver. I was like, oh, that's just the screwdriver's gonna come into play, right? And sure enough, it did. Now, because you guys know me and I try to be fair, pros and cons. I liked the continuation of, as much as I fucking hate it. But if you're gonna do it, at least be consistent, right? So I dig that they are at least being consistent with that damn screwdriver. Later on, Don Callis uh tied in his history with Moxley and things like that. So I do appreciate that because AEW does get a lot of shit for the lack of storytelling, blah blah blah. So when it's thrown out there, I want to recognize it. You know what I mean? So I dig that. I dig the. I can even under. I'm not gonna say I dig, but I can even understand them not wanting to have a clean victory one way or another in the Okada and Takeshita match. And I assumed that going in. I figured that's why I said with the screwdriver, right? Like I assumed Okada was gonna cheat to advance on. Like that was pretty much like a no-brainer to me, right? It was just a matter of how it was really gonna happen. So with the screwdriver being a thing, and then with Fletcher's match later on, I was like, okay, cool. Like you guys, I love me a good thread too. I love a thread throughout the show. It really adds to your enjoyment and your payoff as a viewer watching the entire show, or however, if it's like a series and you're at the series finale, shit like that. It's like you really feel a sense of accomplishment and reward. It's like, yeah, like exactly what I thought was gonna happen, right? And you just makes you feel smart. You know what I mean? Like shit, like enough is out there in the world to get us down and make us feel dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? So we gotta take our W's when we can. So the little victories are very like pat yourself on the back. You know what I mean? But leading on earlier with the Fletcher match, I just between the Death Riders and the back and forth, or I guess maybe the start and stop, or I don't even know what you call it, man, at this point. Like whatever they're doing with Fletcher, it's really bugging me, man. So I just I was gonna say I don't know what's bothering me more, but I think I do know. But thinking back to last year's tournament and how stellar of a job Fletcher did, and how I thought he should have won it last year. Understand what they're doing with the rivalry with him and Osprey, and and Osprey is the bigger star, so you need to put Osprey over, which makes sense in their feud coming out of it. So 100% makes sense. You personally, I still would have, liked Fletcher to get maybe, the upper hand, but it is what it is. Like no, like oh my gosh, like they're burying him type shit. You know what I mean? But looking on the past year rather, in the fact that he was the TNT champion and didn't really do much with that either. Like it just feels, and again, like I don't know if start and stop is the correct phrase for it, but it's like, damn, dude, like, and I'm not saying he should be the next world champion or anything like that, but he should be on his way there, and he should be, I don't want to say a Gunther type, but he should be picking up more victories than losses, and really, and he, I'm sure he is. Like I didn't look at his stats statistically, like number, like the exact number. I'm sure he's won more than he's lost. But my point is, like, it's the overall perception. It's like, damn, like he gets right there and he keeps losing the big one. Like he lost to Hangman, which again, didn't really expect him to lose to or to beat Hangman. But it's like, why even put him in that situation, especially when he was the TNT champion at the time? So I'm frustrated because I really value Fletcher, and you can see that they value Fletcher too. Tony Khan values Fletcher. And it's not like, oh my God, they're like killing him or anything like that, or he's, never going to be able to recover or anything dramatic, but it's just frustrating for me. So that was the one thing that just kind of really took the wind out of my sail, as they say. I even sent out a tweet. I was like, my money, well, not, my pick is Fletcher for the overall tournament winner. I thought it would be a great dynamic for the Callis family. Okada would obviously lose. He would have that kind of monkey on his back that he keeps losing to Fletcher. Fletcher finally gets the big one, and he's, off and doing his own thing. And then whether they want to have that be a bigger flame, or bigger win for the flame type shit, and really expedite a Fletcher turn, a babyface turn, which again, I'm not even necessarily advocating for that, but I honestly don't think it would be too terrible. I think he would probably do very well at it. Especially with how much he has built up over the past year and a half with the fans. So you can kind of like a Batista Triple H type evolution thing from way back when. You can kind of expedite that a little bit quicker than maybe you would have. Or just, again, kind of do a judgment thing. Leave that, like kind of on the back burner. And if you need to call back to something, or you need oh shit, like someone gets injured or something like that, you can pull that forward. So you have options, but I was just like, man, I don't know, like, especially with having, hold on, especially with having Moxley go into it being so well. I thought Moxley did a great job with the sell job, right? So with I was gonna say with Moxley being so injured, right, and really selling the ankle and the leg injury going into it, I was like, yo, like he said, and again, to give credit where credit's due, I really dug the backstage segment throughout the pay per view that like between Don Callis, like in the family, and then Moxley pretty much cutting his promo and saying that you're gonna have to Okada's gonna have to kill him, to win the tournament. And we'll get to Moxley a little bit more in depth here in a second, but I was just like, it just didn't feel right, like it just felt kind of like out of nowhere to have Moxley win the tournament, especially because I just don't think maybe this guy used up all his PTO. Maybe he never had PTO. Maybe that was I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but this guy, he just and props to him and kudos to him. He is a better human than I am. I need my time at home. Like I would have needed, and I guess they don't travel, but like a couple days a week with AEW. What do they travel? Maybe the Tuesday before, and then depending on the time and what flight availability, maybe you can fly out Wednesday. So you're probably home Wednesday, like late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. So you're gone for what, 3 days? That's not that bad, when you think about it. Oh, sorry, my nose is running, guys. But I don't know, man. I want to cash in and take Renee and the kid and just go traveling for a bit and just go sightsee. Renee works her ass off too, so she needs a break. She's all over the place in these shows. So I don't think Moxley's he's just ever gonna take time away at this point. And again, it's no hate or nothing like that. It's just make me miss you, dude. Like make me I was looking forward to him losing so many times on just because I want to go back like Jericho, like where I was at with Jericho. Like I have nothing but respect for them, right? For all they've done for the business, all that good shit. So no hate. I need to miss you. Like pizza. I fucking love pizza, but if I eat that shit every day, I'm not gonna enjoy it as much. I'm gonna get tired of it. Like, okay, cool, pepperoni pizza, like here we go. Depending on the day, maybe I'll throw some pineapple on it because pineapple does belong on pizza. But I just not every day, dude. Not every day. So I don't know. I was just hopeful that this tournament would be the next step for the Death Riders, and maybe it will. Maybe come Wednesday, tomorrow, we will go into Dynamite. Moxley, I guess, but and that's the thing, because like I guess Moxley's not gonna do like a celebration, or anything like that. Maybe they'll do something where the Death Riders want to throw Moxley a celebration and then turn on him then, but that's not their vibe either. It was just, but again, playing back and getting back to what I was saying, when Moxley won and did his rah-rah speech, which I thought was a great speech for a good guy. So it's like now all of a sudden, and we have seen some, talking segments leading up to that. So it wasn't a complete out of nowhere, but it's like, damn, man, like, I don't know. It just, again, still feels too quick. Like we just really went from chapter like 4 or 5 to 7 or 8. And it's like, okay, but like, yeah, like some people don't like the meat and potatoes of it, but you need it. You need it for that substance. So I just having him not only beat Fletcher, but then go along to win the entire tournament. I was just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing with the Death Riders? And then like we just went through this whole year-ish. I forget how many exact days it was. Around a year of Moxley holding the AEW championship hostage, literally in the briefcase, right? the whole point of the past year and the build up, and is it going to be Osprey? Is it going to be Hangman? Is it going to be Swerve? Like, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Darby? It's finally Hangman, right? Like he wins the big one in Texas. Like, it's literally all the stars aligned for him. Doesn't come out of it having the strongest reign, but that's okay. You know, it wasn't a complete failure, but it wasn't the strongest. So okay, fine, whatever. You get in your mind you want to change the championship. That's cool. Like, I'm not against that. I actually advocate for that. If something isn't quite exactly what you want it to be, shake shit up, you know? Um just be mindful of how often you're doing it, you know, of all the asterisks thereof. But to go through the entire year, we'll just call it a year, of Moxley being champion, or at least just like the reign of the Death Riders, right? Going back from when he suffocated Brian Danielson, which has the most awkward job ever trying to teeter the line, you know what I mean? Of in his character, of course, like trying to buffer, like, yeah, like, and props to him. At least he's not completely overlooking it or downplaying it or acting like it didn't happen. So I definitely give him props for that and sharing that confliction with us. So I again, props to him for that. Um, it's just very, it's kind of like the Swerve and Hangman thing. So it's like, damn, we go through this heavy feud, and then out of nowhere, it's just like, okay, like, and then that's a bad comparison. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna go with a worse one, which is John Cena. So John Cena goes through the first half of the year, right, with a good, a great, excellent, whatever you want to call it, heel turn itself, but then thereafter, a lot to be desired, right? Which is not today's topic, just an example. All of a sudden on a SmackDown, he just doesn't necessarily come out and like apologize. He just like was saying what, like, he had like a bad day, like pretty much like chalked it up to like a bad few months. And it's just like, and we're just supposed to love him and forgive him, and all is good. And it's just like, okay, bro, like, okay. And again, it's Cena, so it is what it is. Still doesn't make it right. But it's kind of how it felt here. So my point is, I just don't know why we went through all of this with how heavy-handed it was with the Death Riders and Moxley and all the crazy shit that they were doing, and all of the good guys that Moxley went through, and just, you know, check one, check two, check three, you know, added to his list. And now, within, we'll say, a month-ish, not even, without anything truly monumental happening, in my opinion, he's just a good guy now because he respects all the competitors who went through the tournament. Like, you were just talking shit about all of them. You were literally just talking shit. That was the whole point of him becoming this evil version of Moxley, is because he was embarrassed by what AEW had become, or like he wanted them to be more serious. Like, he wanted it to be in his vision. So I don't know. I just feel very conflicted. um, and I feel like it didn't need to be this complicated, you know, shout out Alvaro. But I don't know, man. And again, to go through all that and then go through all what I just said, and then have him win a championship that is another clusterfuck in and of its own self. Un momento. At the same pay-per-view, we had a unification match to unify titles. Okay? We did that. Okada had, you guys know, I'm not going to go through all that. Yeah, I almost feel like I should, because it kind of adds to the point. But we unified the international and the continental championships to make the unified championship, but there's still individual titles. Okay, you guys know the headache that it gives me each time, so I'm not going to get into that nitty gritty of cluster. So now, and again, please tell me, because I feel like I have missed something. So that's why I'll go through the comments here once I'm done rambling. Okada loses the Continental Championship. Fine, whatever. I assumed he was going to, right? And that was one of my questions going into it. Like, so what does that mean for the other titles, right? And I'm not here to make things more complicated than it is. Maybe it's just my brain, and you guys can tell me, yo, it's just your fucking weird ass brain, and cool. I will take that. But Okada loses the Continental Championship, so that means I guess the unification match was null and void now because they didn't technically unify the titles even though there was a unified championship. So Okada still has the unified title and the international title, even though the other half that makes the unified title whole, he no longer owns. So, like, how do you, it's like having a shield, but like half of it's missing. You still have the frame of the shield, but there's a chunk missing. So it's just the whole. You have the other half, and you still have the frame, but you have a hole. So how am I unified? Like I'm really not even trying to be an asshole or like I'm literally asking questions. Like I'm literally confused. And I've again, like I said, to be fair, I probably missed something, but that's what I was thinking. So like, okay, so he has these two titles, and then my brain goes from there. It's like, okay, so because I start once I get deep into the rabbit hole and I'm just at a point, I'm like, fuck it. Like, okay, ugh, and then something else like grabs me and I just like dig instead of continuing straight down, I'll divert right. So I'm still digging deep, just not straight anymore. But but so taking that right path, I'm like, okay, so the international title is still a thing, but we created the national title because the international title was unified. So therefore it wasn't singularly defended. Which, to be fair, international and national are two very different things, obviously. But it was this like a similar concept, right? Which was the create the not the need, but the origin for the national title, which Ricochet has. So it's like, okay, so what are we gonna do with the international title then? Is Okada going to now? I mean, he has to, right? Defend those titles individually because again, remember our chunk, we don't have that anymore. So we have our frame, the other half, no chunk. So it's like, okay, what are we doing? Like I really fucking wish, man. I might shoot Tony Khan a DM, right? You know, you don't know you can't score unless you shoot, right? Just to be like, hey, like I would love to do like an interview. Doesn't even have to be on camera. Like I would just love to ask you like a few questions just for like, his conference calls, maybe, shit. Cause I would love to again, not to be one of those people that's like calling them out or like doing it to, like poke fun or anything like that. I legitimately as a true fan want have questions and want to know. And I feel like I need a big dry erase board, like on Law and Order and shit. Well, now it's not even dry erase board. They have like it's like a big just glass. But the big ass picture in the middle, and then all the strings coming off of it, and all the zigzags and shit. That's what I feel like I have right now, And I feel like Tony Khan is in the center, and I need help, Tony. He's not technically in the center. He's the god above it all, right? He's he's above it all, looking down on us all. And I'm just like, bro, like, please explain to me A through whatever letter. So that's kind of where I'm at, Fernando. Very long story, but you guys know me. That's the whole fucking point of this thing, right? That is why it took my overall enjoyment out of World's End. I'm not saying it was a bad show. Not even saying it's necessarily the wrong decisions. I'm just so fucking confused and just so like, okay, well, where are we going from here? In like not even the mid card section because we have how many individual titles for the men do we have now? Like 5. It's just so much, dude. It's just so much. And it's just wrestling. Like I watch wrestling because it relieves me from and we're exerting, right? Oh my god. But these are fun problems to have. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. Like I said, I'm gonna dive into the chat here and shut up for a second because I feel like I've just been rambling on and on. Yeah, dude, where'd it go? I did not hear that though. Fernando, you said, did you hear the rumor that the Street Profits are not re-signing with WWE when their contracts expire in a month? That would be crazy, dude. We'll get back to that. Wouldn't it honestly be 100% surprised? And I would low-key kind of morbidly be curious to see what free Street Profits would look like on the indies with this type of fame. But it would almost be like a weird sight to see too. That'd be crazy. Maria, you're funny, girl. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on the Death Riders and all that shit. The main event, though, just kind of do an overall thing. The main event, the match itself was the 4-way. My money was on MJF to win, right? I don't think too many people were surprised, but kind of going back, some of the people that I do listen to, I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't have MJF winning. But because to me, it's like he went through the effort of explaining the dumb decision. So they are absolutely not going to let someone like MJF make a decision like that, provide an explanation, and then lose. So yeah, I think it's definitely the right decision. MJF is and shout out Grandmaster Solus. I know you're not in here right now, but I got your email, man. I went through and read it all. Very, very good email, man. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your thoughts and your insight, but in your comments as well. But I really think MJF is someone that they need to just hitch the bandwagon to and just honestly probably ride out until it's kind of redundant because you do it year to year. I mean, well, not the same length, but you can have him go into All In. Honestly, like I wouldn't even it's not my job anyway, but I wouldn't be looking to rush the title off of MJF. We all know, right? It's like the worst kept secret that Ospreay is going to be a champion at some point in the very, very near future. It's just a matter of when he comes back, right? And what the lay of the land looks like at that point. Last I heard, he was trying to shoot to come back like early 2026, which I think is kind of crazy. Like, dude, like your body has gone through so much. Like, we appreciate you, dude. Like, we love you, but like take the time. Like your spot, especially like with us. Like, I think wrestlers like fear that they're gonna be like forgotten, but like especially when you get to a stature of like Osprey level, like that's just not someone. And wrestling is like a weird little niche where like even if you were like the most like minute and like redundant or just like irrelevant, whatever word you want to use, and just like an extra, like people remember extras, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Wrestling is like its own beautiful world. So I understand where they're coming from because I probably would have that same fear as well. But like when you're someone on the level of Osprey, and maybe it's not a matter of the fans forgetting about you, it's you maybe like losing your spot in the company, like the next big thing, and the next best thing coming around while you're out. So I can get that and the fear and the anxiety of that. But Osprey's different, dude. Like Osprey, I feel like in this situation, like Osprey could come back Wednesday and it could be a matter of, oh shit, like MJF is gonna lose at the next pay-per-view type shit. You know what I mean? So whether that actually happens is obviously, a question and the whole point, but that possibility is there. So I don't know. If I'm Osprey, I really hope he just takes the time that he needs because again, it's a pretty gnarly injury, like nothing to joke about or to take lightly. I almost said seriously. He definitely need to take it seriously. But yeah, I hope he's good and I hope he takes the time. But the point with that is I feel like that might be the next end game. And maybe and I mean, I'm sure he in wrestling you have to have a plan B and C, right? But if you're Tony Khan, like you do have like your maybe like your 1A or your 1B. But it really I wouldn't be in any type of rush. You obviously literally just crowned him, right? We're going into tomorrow night's show. We'll see MJF celebration and go from there. And then he's gonna be tangled up with the dynamite diamond ring stuff for the next week ish, couple weeks, whatever. And then we'll get into it, right? Once the new year starts and we really get into it, we'll kind of see where we're at from there. We have Swerve back, which is a good thing. Um, so yeah, like I'm not. I think that the main event scene is steering in a good direction. I just hope that Tony Khan doesn't feel like he needs to like rush anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's where I'm at with AEW. Yeah, Fernando, I saw that too. He said Anna Jay will be a free agent in the start of 2026. I saw that as well. Or I heard about it at least. I think that's very interesting. I don't necessarily see her leaving. I would actually be more surprised if she left than anything. It just probably feels like a good fit for her. Perry's there. She's an original, so I would actually be very surprised if she did leave. Um, but if she is really serious about becoming a big star, or at least refining a specific type of skill set, maybe she would leave for a couple years, dabble and see if she can get into NXT, which I'm sure she could. And because I was about to say like as you think of like the ID programs and all that shit, like she in what's the other one? Evolve. Definitely would need to go through all that, go right to NXT. And yeah, like I don't know. I think she would be in NXT for a few years though, honestly. And it depends on how she feels about that, really. A lot of people, that's the goal, to kind of rehone and refine their skills and learn the WWE style and go from there. A lot of people think it's a slap in the face, so I'm curious where her mindset would be on that, but I really don't think she's gonna leave, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, those are my AEW thoughts. Couple just like recap thoughts from Raw last night. Oh man, I I'm still digging the Usos winning. I'm still digging the shakeup in the tag team division. Like I said last night, or I don't know if I said it on my show, but I jumped on Wade Keller over at PW Torch on their YouTube channel. I called in. I was on there for I don't know, good amount of time, and obviously chatting about the show, the Usos winning, Austin Theory, whether Austin Theory can be taken seriously going forward, if he's viewed as like a silent assassin type of like character type role now. But yeah, just like the Uso direction in general. If it's going to be like a long term thing, if it's going to be relatively short term, and that's kind of where I'm at. I think and it really depends on. No, maybe not. Because right now we're in just like such a weird time period, right? Like we're about to go into January, nearing the Rumble, and then the road to WrestleMania, which is just crazy to think of already. So it just you're almost at that point where if you want to being management, if you want to shake shit up for a brief, like a quick title change or a quick run or anything like that, now is the time. So part of me, and maybe like I'm like 60-40 on this, part of me is like, I feel the Uso reign is going to be for like a month or two, and then, or maybe even like a month and a half. Jay is going to turn on Jimmy, no real surprise there, and then kind of go back into WrestleMania as, you know, the sibling rivalry, but the role switch, like good guy and bad guy. And I think Jay, as much as the yeet is over, man, and like, oh, it's so infectious being there. It's annoying. It's so annoying. Because at home, I'm just like, oh, you guys. I'm like, all right, let's get to the ring, dude. Like, can we move on? But being there, dude, it's just a different. Obviously, like the vibe, it catches you, man. It catches you. Even when the security guard was getting into it, it was kind of cool. But yeah, it's time though. It's time to shake shit up for Jay, because the good thing about shaking shit up is that reunion and bringing it back. It's like you almost want to. It's like the New Day, right? Like they're bad guys, but you know, man, once they turn that corner and make that good guy reunion and all that shit, man, fans are gonna they're just going to like eat up being able to cheer them again. So it's interesting time, but it does free up AJ Styles as well from being in a tag team. And if he is serious about this being his last year, I don't think it's going to be at Mania, because I feel like, well, I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's what they're about to start doing, because he did, of course, have that backstage, well, a couple run-ins with Gunther now, and we know obviously what Gunther's been up to. AJ obviously said that this is going to be his last year. Now, is he going to go through the whole year like Cena did? Or is he just going to go to WrestleMania, to SummerSlam? We don't know yet. And maybe we'll find out on the first Raw of the year, right? The Netflix reunion. The Netflix 1 year anniversary, which is crazy. Again, time is insane. But I think that's kind of where we're looking at for WrestleMania. I don't know, man, because WrestleMania seems so sudden, and I just feel like, man, like AJ, he's still got it, man. Like, as much as I hate that chant, like that dude is just unbelievable. And to think that we only have a few more months left, less than 6 months left with AJ, it's kind of surreal to think about, man. And kind of crazy to think that maybe last night was the last time I'll ever see him live in person. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, I just got a cold chill. So yeah, because it's fucking cold here in Florida. Like, I try not to comment on it because, being a little baby, and I know it's like some people have like feet of snow and shit, but cold. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just wild to think that AJ could really be hanging it up in less than 6 months. I don't know. I don't want to believe it. So, but sadly, that is kind of where I think we're leaning towards heading into WrestleMania. If not WrestleMania, then maybe SummerSlam with AJ. But SummerSlam is in Minneapolis, and there's also rumors of Brock Lesnar retiring this year. So, and of course, there's been that heavily hyped match between Lesnar and Gunther that's been, floating out there for years now. So if it's gonna happen, shit, get off the pot, buddy. But man, I don't know. I don't know. This year, the next year, like, it's just in sports as a whole. I mentioned it on a previous stream. Like, we're just losing a lot of the greats, man. A lot of the greats are retiring. Thankfully, they're retiring. We're losing them in the right way. But you think like Brady retired, LeBron's gonna be hanging it up. You gotta imagine here soon. Just turned like 41, I think. Steph Curry's getting up there. It's just really, I don't know, man. It's just kind of crazy to think about. Like, a different era is really like closing its chapter. So yeah, we'll obviously be diving into that a bit more. But yeah, guys, I'll be wrapping it up here in a couple moments, but I just wanted to get on here with you guys and shoot the shit for a little bit while I had some time. Oh, what up, Sean? I just saw you in there, man. What up? What up? Yeah, it's definitely not 30 here, and that's why I hate like even saying I'm quote unquote like I'm cold. It's 48 here, and that's cold. But yeah, dude. When you're never cold, the cold hits you different. and I stay cold, right? Obviously, I'm just a cold natured person, but the quote unquote Florida cold. Oh, Maria, Anna J and TNA has a good ring to it. Hey. Yeah, Sean, it was crazy. Yeah, I was so I don't know if you guys saw it, but I posted a little video. Um, I was so close to being able to get into because crazy timing. I was like, all right, this is probably gonna be the best time now. It was like right after the whole Ray Penta Vision segment. Like right as that was ending. I went out to grab a refill and to check out the merch, which I did end up getting. I'm gonna take a video of that later on, within the next day or so. They actually have a really cool like John Cena booklet. I thought it was just like the gold. I'll show you. Eh, it's in the other room, but it's a. I thought it was just like a gold like poster, but it's a huge book. So and it's like pictures throughout his entire career. So I want to take a video of that so you guys can see it. What up, E? Yeah. Where are you at? Where do you stay at, E? Where do you live? Yeah, Muhammad. What up, Muhammad? I don't know if I said hey to you earlier, Muhammad, but I saw you in there. What up, dude? Fave Christmas movie? Jingle all the way, dude. Jingle all the way. Sean, I gave Worlds in. Yeah, I actually a C. I would be in that CD range. Yeah, let me remind. Thank you for reminding me. Let me pull up the poll. And again, I just did C. I combined C and D just because someone before had one at the F option, and you only have 4 slots. Okay. So 57% gave it an A, 29% a B, 14% C, D. That's probably you and I, Sean, and then no F. So right on, because I don't think it was an F. But I wanted to be fair and put that as an option. Next time I think though, I'll put A and then B and C as an option together and then D and F. I feel that's better. Fernando, you're funny, bro. You said, thank God Jay has gone from singles division. He sucks. Well, you're funny, dude. Sean, you said Home Alone for you? Yeah, it's a classic, dude. It's a classic. Oh, you say you're in Huntington, Indiana. Some next week I'll be in Fort Wayne. Oh, do you travel for like work too, or what do you traveling or what's up? Yeah, Mohammed, that's another one. Chris Jericho, his contract with AEW is officially expiring tomorrow. You say, okay? I didn't know that date specifically, but yeah, oh yeah, it was the end of the year, so makes sense. I didn't know if it was like legit like December 31st or if it was like around like if it was like around the beginning of the new year type thing or not. But yeah, so and again, to me, it's gonna be no shocker if and when he pops up in the Rumble. I'm actually really looking forward to the moment. It's gonna be kind of surreal to see because it's been forever. Hey, Sean, you said, "Gosh, Ash, I freaking love that movie, dude. It's my favorite, man." I've never seen Die Hard. What is the big debate on that though? Dave LaGreca used to debate that shit on Busted Open because I forget his take though, but he does say it's a Christmas movie. Um, I'm pretty certain he says it's a Christmas movie, and then Bully Ray says it's not, or vice versa? Oh man, Mohammed, I'm sorry he didn't acknowledge you, dude. Maybe he didn't, and it was just telepathically. It is a all right, man. I'm gonna take your word for it. Yeah, Turbo Man, and they made the like actual Turbo Man action figures now, which I think is pretty pretty fucking hilarious and pretty cool. I want to find one and cop one day. I think that'd be pretty dope to have. Um, but yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. I just wanted to pop on here. I can't believe it's 8:30 already. Wild. I wanted to pop on here while I had a little bit of time. I have to throw another load of laundry in there and get ready for the day tomorrow. Want to try to prep some stuff. Um, yeah, going into next year though, I'm thinking about expanding the channel a bit, just in the sense of maybe covering other topics that are not wrestling related. But I've been torn on that because I know the whole point of this is wrestling. So I have created another channel page. I'm not putting the name out there yet, just because I'm still hesitant on what I want to really do with it. And because I don't want to take any attention away from this, but I just have so many interests now that I like really want to. I've learned like through this, like doing this, like I really love like branching out there and kind of using this as a way to express myself, and my thoughts and document myself, because it's really fun to go back and just see like, man, like, oh, I remember, like for instance, Sean, like, I was going through some old like clips through like StreamYard and stuff, and just like clearing up some space, and just seeing like the shows that Sean, Elvis, and I did together and stuff like that. So, and just topics, seeing the topics that you cover as well, and just seeing like all the year-end recaps and stuff like that. For me, I view this as like, all of us friends sitting here chatting together, and like just me sitting here, talking with you guys, and like, our little community here. But there's so many other things that I want to talk about too, but I don't want to use a wrestling channel to talk about shit that's not wrestling related. You know what I mean? Because that just feels kind of redundant. So, um, still, mustering over that. But just throwing that out there and just putting that out on the airwaves. Um, yeah, and it honestly, I would have to do a little bit more research, right, and be more prepared. But it would be a similar concept to this, just like talking about shit that's going on in the world. Um, I try not to dabble into politics. Personally, it takes, I don't even know like what would offend me. It takes like, I'm not very easily offended at all. I am one of those people that if you and I differ on something, um especially now at this point in my life, probably not 5 years ago, but the older I've gotten, I really love, not necessarily debating, but I just love talking to people who I know either nothing about, or they have different viewpoints than me, and it's like very drastic, because and especially if they like are very passionate about it, because to me, like, I personally, I hate labels as a whole, but I very much respect people who are very passionate about their stances on whatever, obviously, whether I agree with it or not, as long as you're not going out there and like hurting people and being an asshole. I think that's what the world needs, is just more discussion. So I'm just looking to honestly kind of learn a bit more too, because I've learned, you know, um, definitely coming out of the pandemic, but more so honestly this past year, I realized that I am pretty ignorant in a lot of stuff that I shouldn't be, and I just want to learn more, period. And I want to just see more of life and just more of what's going on out in the in the real world, which is conflicting for me, because you guys know how I am about social media and how I feel about like posting stuff, and that's honestly like what limits me a lot, because I feel very awkward, and it's just very weird to me, so just kind of a little peek behind the curtain and just some thoughts that I have going on behind the scenes. With myself, aka behind the scenes, because it's just me. But yeah, so just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, happy new year. Yeah, happy new year, guys, because I won't be doing, I doubt, yeah, I won't be doing a stream tomorrow. So happy new year to all you guys and gals. You said you'll stick with the wrestling one. I feel that. Yeah, no, I appreciate I appreciate you, Muhammad. You say your voice matters. I appreciate that. And all of us, all, and that's the whole point too. Like all of our voices matter. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point, and one of the beauties of this highly advanced world that we live in now is that we all have a platform. You know, all you need now is just your phone. Sadly enough, really. I mean, it's great having a camera and a computer or whatever, but all you really need is your phone. It sucks. I found that out last night. It's very difficult, but you can do crazy stuff in a good way. In a good way. Fernando, you said do court stuff, or yeah, you said do court stuff streams again, Ash. That's definitely one of the things that I have been seriously considering. Um, so yeah, that's definitely on my list. Kind of like just long story short there, my friend. And yeah, Sean, you had said, excuse me, it's just hard because the media is all over the place and can be untrustworthy. So just my thought. And that is a big fear of mine, and especially why I am not a huge fan of like the whole AI chat GPT conversions and all this shit. I think it's very helpful and for good purposes can be, a great benefit, but it's also making us dumber as human beings individually. Like you don't even need to learn your own like a different language anymore. All you need to do is put an earbud in, and like they have like I saw these earbuds. I mean, obviously you can just like translate on your phone, but like I saw they have these earbuds now where like like you and I, Sean, can have earbuds in, and we'll be talking to each other. I could speak in English and you could speak in Spanish, and it'll be translating it for us. And so like whatever you say in Spanish, I'll hear in English and vice versa. And it's just like that's very fucking cool, and I love that. But it's also like, damn, like we don't even need to learn now. And I'm just like, it's just crazy, man. But on the flip side of that, also this year has really woken me up to a lot of things that I just were not even aware of that's happening in the world. Or maybe that I had an idea was happening where I just didn't really understand, or I was just really just like our court systems, our tax paying dollars, like you just I you know just I just do what I need to do to get by. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, pay my bills, take care of my family, all that shit. But it's like, what is your money actually going to? You know what I mean? Like who, like you're, and stuff like that. So I view it as not a this side, that side, your side, my side, anything like that. It should like I just frankly, y'all, I feel like it's just completely crazy that we are even still at a point in the world that we have wars and stuff like that. It's like, duh, we're not all gonna get along, right? But it's just like, damn, like we're still out here like bombing motherfuckers and like I don't know. It's just really crazy to me. And for money. For something that you don't even have when your soul leaves this earth. Regardless of what you believe in for the afterlife, there's no afterlife, regardless, when you're done, you're done. I mean, and if you believe in reincarnation, you're still not going to be in that same form. So you're still not going to have your money. It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. The older I get, the weirder life gets. And Maria, knowledge is power. But with all that said, Happy New Year, my friends. I truly appreciate all of you guys and the journey that you have all been on with me in the channel here. Yeah, rest in peace, Shad Gaspard. A true a true hero. Shout out to him. Gave his life for his son. True hero. But yeah, guys, I will be wrapping it up here. Thank you guys so much for, like I said, all you've done for me and this channel this year. I truly appreciate you guys always popping in whenever I randomly sit down and decide to hit live and hope that I have unmuted myself and all that shit. So I really appreciate you guys. I truly do. You know, it's not just bullshit. Um, Again, looking to get more consistent. I know I've said that a lot. Just life, man. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm trying to honestly, real quick. I may even my part-time, I don't know. My part-time is TBD because I really want to devote more time to myself. And thankfully with my full-time, I'm at a position where I might, and not that I need to have my part-time, but I've just always been like it's like for me, not to get too behind the scenes, but like it's just me, you know what I mean? Like I depend on myself. I mean, like I have people, you know what I mean? Like I'm not just out here solo dolo. But like, it's, like you gotta grind for your money, man. Like you gotta put a roof over your head. So, I've my first general manager gave me this story, but the thing that I just always stuck with me, and I remember because she had her hands up like this, and it looks weird. Um, Funnels. She was like, you always need to have multiple funnels of resources, whether that's revenue, connections, people, whatever. You need to have multiple funnels. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, you're so right. And that's just kind of like the mindset I've been on. So, with that being said, yeah, I hopefully will be making some changes here very soon. So, when I do, you guys will know. But I appreciate you for the super chat, Sean. You're funny, bro. Very much so. I appreciate you, my friend. You have done a lot. Very, very much so. And I'm thankful for you. But yeah, guys, until next year, not to be that person, but God, it's fucking crazy. 2026. But yeah, honestly, I think maybe the next stream will definitely be Saturday morning. If not before Saturday, unless I'm sick again, which I hope not. But if not before Saturday morning, I'll see you guys Saturday. Have a great week, guys. Take care.